Adam Schefter, how are we doing this week?
Hello, how are we doing, guys?
Good. I'm guessing we're not quite as busy as you. Feels like it could be a busy trade deadline, and the Patriots got going yesterday. I know you had sort of predicted the Kyle Duggar deal. They get rid of Keon White. Those two deals, were they both guys that they were just simply looking to unload?
Yep. I think look at the return, what they got back, and you could see the return on the investment. I think at that point in time, you're looking to clear out the roster spot, the money, whatever they can to move on from the particular player that they obviously were done with. I mean, you're not getting back a whole lot of compensation. The compensation is the flexibility that provides you to go add other players to your roster, and that's what they can do now. But they've been talking about a Keon White trade for weeks. They've been open to moving Duggar for weeks, maybe months. And so here they are. They finally, a week before the deadline, are able to make the trade to move along both guys.
Okay, Adam, I'm going to ask you a two-part question, and the answer to your first one will go quick, and that's basically Myles Garrett. Go ahead. You can pull cold water over him getting traded to the Patriots. Everybody here is all worked up about that. I heard your report on that. And then also just who do you think is a viable maybe candidate to be traded? You hear the Saints receivers are out there, maybe Breece Hall for the Jets, Jacoby Myers from the Raiders. But Myles Garrett, any chance he comes here? And then if not, what are some of the maybe other options that the Patriots could be looking at as far as trade partners?
Well, I will pass along the exact quotes that somebody told me in relation to Myles Garrett being traded today. They texted me, quote, unquote, no chance. And then they texted me again saying, people have a better chance of winning the lottery. So take that for what it's worth, but that would be somebody that would absolutely know, and Myles Garrett is not getting traded by the deadline on Tuesday. As for some of the other ones, Rashid Shaheed, I could see him being traded before the deadline. The Raiders are listening on Jacoby Myers. Doesn't mean they'll deal. They recognize he's a good player, and they're prepared to hold him if they don't get the value that they want in return. I still think that they'll be one of the Dolphins' pass rushers who's traded before the trade deadline, whether that's Bradley Chubb or Jalen Phillips, but I don't know that the Dolphins would be willing to trade in the division unless it was, a real strong price. I'm sure there'll be other moves. Every year there seems to be one little curveball that you're not expecting. We just got a trade just now, literally 5 minutes ago. The New England Patriots or the Philadelphia Eagles traded John Mechie to the Jets for Michael Carter, the nickelback essentially. So there's another trade, and there we go.
Speaking of Philadelphia wide receivers, everything I've heard, Adam, is that the Eagles are adamant that they're not going to trade A.J. Brown, but for some reason there's been a lot of chatter, regardless of that huge the dead money that the Eagles would have to eat, that perhaps he could get moved. Have you heard any buzz or any chatter going one way or the other in the last couple of days?
Yeah, he's not going to get moved. I mean, it's just not going to happen before the trade deadline. I'm amazed at how much speculation it has generated, how much conversation has come out of this. Again, I'll always say that you never know with the NFL. Anything always could happen, but for them to move him now would be really, really surprising. It's not something they're planning. It's not something I'm expecting. Again, what do you think the price would be if they traded A.J. Brown today? Just give me a random guess at draft compensation. What do you think the number is? I don't care what you tell me, but what do you think it is?
I'd say a second and a fourth.
Okay, so let's just say it's a second and a fourth. Why would the Patriots, I keep listening to the Patriots, why would the Eagles trade him now for 2 and a 4 when they could have him for the rest of the season as they try to defend their Super Bowl title and then trade him in the offseason for at least that, maybe more, when there will be more teams interested, more teams with the ability to have that cap space? Like, in my mind, it makes no sense for them to trade him, and I don't expect him to be traded. I just do not expect that. Now, I guess I was a little bit stronger on Myles Garrett because, as I always say with this stuff, basically not everybody is for sale, but everybody has a price. So, if some team's going to step up and go crazy, could that happen? Sure, but I'm not expecting that in any way, shape, or form. The Eagles aren't looking to do that. So, but no, I'm not expecting A.J. Brown to be traded by the deadline.
Time now to get this week's Drake Take from Adam Schefter, presented by your New England Chevy dealers. Together, let's drive. And it's going to be a trade-related Drake Take, Adam. If you were the general manager of the Patriots, if you were Elliott Wolf or the brain trust down there, Ryan Cowden, and you were looking to support Drake May, and you know what's available out there based on everything you've heard, tackles, receivers, running backs, what do you think the Patriots could or should do to support Drake May this season?
I think it should be a slow, steady build. There should be nothing that they do that they're overpaying for. Drake May is going to be in New England a long time. He is going to be on his rookie contract for 2 more years after this year. They need to make decisions that they would make as if Drake May were there, weren't there. Like, just keep building the roster, keep building around him. Don't force the issue. If there's something that makes sense and there's some value in a trade, then go do it. And if there's not, don't force something because you feel like, boy, we're in a better spot than we expected to be, and we need to get this guy. Like, he's got wide receivers. They could use a little bit more depth at running back. I saw they signed Dearness Johnson today. They could use, a little bit more help on the offensive line, who couldn't at this point in time. But there's nothing that you say, boy, they really need. Another tight end would be good. There's a lot of things that they need, but every team has needs. But to me, I'm not forcing anything. I'm making calls. I'm asking around, and if there's a good value trade for somebody, then I'm open to making it anywhere on the offense.
Okay, Adam, I'm going to give you another two-parter real quick. You talked to, a lot of guys that played the quarterback position, Orlovsky, in particular. I'm just curious what, they think of Drake May, and then also, Drake May being an MVP candidate, it feels like at this point, at least he's high in the odds. Like, what does he need to do to kind of, win that award? So just basically, what are guys saying that your colleagues about Drake May at this point, and is he a viable MVP candidate, and what has he had to do to get that?
Yeah. Well, what I would say is that, he has impressed everybody. You heard today Zach Robinson, the Falcons offensive coordinator, say that he believes that Drake May is a younger Josh Allen. We were talking at Get Up on Monday about if they did last year's draft today, would Drake May be the first quarterback off the board? And the answer was very possibly yes. Very possibly yes. Candidate, just keep winning games, just keep playing the way you are, just keep doing what you're doing, and inevitably, if and when they're winning games, then he's going to have a chance to win the MVP.
And Adam, if there was going to be one team that came out of nowhere and was the most active at the trading deadline, could you perhaps offer a team that came out of the woodwork, the weeds out of nowhere?
Yeah, well, I don't think the Patriots are done. I just don't. I think they'll be making calls. Doesn't mean they get something done, but I think they'll be looking to try to get something done. Yeah, look, the Eagles just made another trade. The Eagles are always busy. The Dolphins, I think, like I said, will trade one of those guys. I think the Saints will move on. Those are some of the teams, but, it should be a fairly busy 5-6 days here coming up.
All right, Adam, appreciate you joining us. I know you're busy over the next 5 or 6 days or so. And if you want to drop us any dimes, you hear anything, feel free to check back in. If not, we'll talk to you next Wednesday.
Thanks, Adam.
I look forward to talking next Wednesday post-deadline. I really do.
Sounds awesome, good, man. Adam. Talk to you then. See ya.